The year is 1223. Imagine the endless plains of Eastern Europe. The very air hums with tension, a palpable fear. Welcome to Cryptic Mystic Vault, where we decode enigmatic symbols of history. The Mongol Empire, a tempest of conquest, has erupted from the east. Waves of horsemen, disciplined and ruthless, crash against the walls of civilization. At their head ride figures destined for legend. Genghis Khan's heirs, hungry to claim their own place in history. Kingdoms crumble before the Mongol storm. Armies are decimated. The scent of fear, the stench of death hangs heavy in the air. No one is safe. No one is spared. These are not mere raiders, hungry for plunder. This is a calculated campaign of annihilation. The Mongols move with a speed and ferocity unknown in the West. They are the apex predators of the steppe, honed by generations of warfare. Their tactics are brutal, their discipline ironclad. They are a force of nature, and they are at the very gates of Europe. Yet one name rings out in defiance. One leader dares to stand against the tide. His name is whispered in fear by the Mongols, spoken with reverence by his people. He is Cuman Khan, the leader of the Cumans, and he will not yield his homeland easily. The clash between these two forces, the Mongols and the Cumans, will determine the fate of Eastern Europe. The very soul of a civilization hangs in the balance. For centuries, the Eurasian steppe was a place of brutal beauty, a vast expanse ruled by the horse and the composite bow. It was here, in this unforgiving crucible, that the Cumans forged their destiny. These were a people born to the saddle, masters of the bow, their lives inextricably intertwined with the rhythms of the steppe. Their warrior ethos was not a matter of choice. It was woven into the very fabric of their being. To survive the steppe was to master the art of war. The Cumans were renowned for their equestrian skills. They could fire arrows from horseback with deadly accuracy. They were masters of hit-and-run tactics, lightning raids that left their enemies reeling. Their warriors were as tough and unforgiving as the land they called home. They were the lords of the steppes, feared and respected by all who crossed their path. But the Cumans were more than just warriors. They were traders, diplomats, and survivors. Their nomadic lifestyle brought them into contact with a myriad of cultures, from the Byzantine Empire in the south to the Rus's principalities in the north. They were a vital link in the Silk Road, facilitating the exchange of goods and ideas between East and West. Their culture was a rich tapestry woven from these interactions, a testament to their adaptability and resilience. However, the Mongols represented a different breed of enemy, a threat unlike any the Cumans had ever faced. The steppe was about to become a battleground in a conflict that would decide the fate of empires. The very survival of the Cuman way of life hung in the balance. And at the heart of this struggle stood Cuman Khan, a leader determined to see his people through the storm. The Mongols were the storm that swept across the 13th century world, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Their military prowess was legendary, feared across 2 continents. Their victories were not merely the result of brute strength. They were masterpieces of strategy and logistics, a testament to their understanding of warfare. At the heart of their success lay a unique combination of speed, discipline, and psychological warfare. Mongol armies, mounted on hardy steppe ponies, could cover vast distances with astonishing speed. They lived off the land, minimizing the need for cumbersome supply lines. This allowed them to strike swiftly and decisively, often appearing where they were least expected. Their discipline was the stuff of legend. Mongol warriors were trained from childhood in the art of war. They were masters of mounted archery, able to fire accurately at full gallop. Their formations moved with clockwork precision, a testament to their rigorous training, but perhaps their most potent weapon was their reputation for ruthlessness. The Mongols were masters of psychological warfare. They deliberately spread tales of their brutality, amplifying the terror they inspired. Cities that resisted were often razed to the ground, their inhabitants slaughtered without mercy. This created a climate of fear that often preceded their arrival, breaking the will of their enemies before a single arrow was fired. Against this formidable foe, Cuman Khan and his Cumans now found themselves locked in a desperate struggle for survival. Cuman Khan was a figure forged in the crucible of the steppe, a leader who embodied the indomitable spirit of his people. He understood that the only way to withstand the Mongol storm was to unite the disparate tribes of the region under his banner. He was a skilled diplomat, a charismatic leader capable of uniting rival factions against a common enemy. He knew that the Cumans alone could not hope to defeat the Mongol war machine. He needed allies, and he needed them fast. His gaze turned westward, towards the kingdoms of Europe. He sent emissaries pleading for aid, warning of the grave danger posed by the Mongols. He argued that the fate of Europe itself hung in the balance. But Europe, riven by internal conflicts and petty rivalries, was slow to heed his warnings. They underestimated the Mongol threat, blinded by their own prejudices and short-sightedness. Some saw the Cumans as barbarians, unworthy of their aid. Others saw an opportunity to exploit the chaos for their own gain. Despite the setbacks, Kochen Khan refused to give up hope. He continued to rally his forces, knowing that the fate of his people rested on his shoulders. He would fight to the bitter end, even if it meant standing alone against the Mongol horde. If Kochen Khan had successfully repelled the Mongol invasion, the course of history in Eastern Europe would have been significantly altered. The Cumans, under Kochan's leadership, might have established a powerful coalition with neighboring states, creating a formidable barrier against future Mongol incursions. This alliance could have led to a more unified and resilient Eastern Europe, potentially delaying or even preventing the Mongol influence in the region. Imagine a landscape where the Cumans, Poles, and Hungarians stood shoulder to shoulder, their combined strength deterring any further Mongol advances. The cultural and political landscape of Eastern Europe would have evolved differently, with stronger ties between the Cumans and other European powers, fostering a unique blend of cultures and traditions. Such a coalition might have propelled Eastern Europe into a new era of prosperity and cultural exchange, where the legacy of Kochen Khan and his people would be celebrated as a symbol of resilience and unity. This alternative history beckons us to ponder on the endless possibilities that hinge upon the decisions of a few brave souls in the face of overwhelming odds. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more mind-blowing discoveries and thrilling adventures into the past.